Besides, you're saying it wrong. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Let's get you out of here, Buzz.
Don't you get it? You see the hat? I am Mrs. Nesbit. Snap out of it, Buzz.
Look what I got. I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt. And guess what's inside it?
Taking my life, Usul. It is the only way.
I'm pointing the way.
I've really got to get you out of those clothes
Excuse me?
and into a black dress. Tell me, Doctor, do you like the circus?
Welcome back to another episode of Get a Load of This Movie, a franchise movie podcast where we talk about movies that are a part of a franchise. That means 3 movies or more. And you know what? I'm talking to people that they're like, that's a pretty good concept. And I'm like, where have you been the last 3 years? And so I think we're really about to hit our stride when it comes to finding our audience. But as always, we have your 3 favorite co-hosts of the Get a Load of This Movie podcast. My name is Corey.
Hey, what's up? I'm Cole.
And I'm Zach.
We're just 3 peas in a pod, and I'm just excited.
We're getting good at this. We're getting real good at this.
We're getting good. We're finding our stride, and I think that's important to do around your 3rd, 4th season. You know,
I think we're around 100 and
about when you want.
112-ish.
Usually by the time you want to figure it out.
It's the the Ghostbusters Afterlife joke really hit its stride around the 86th episode.
That movie was awesome.
There you go. Which one was that?
The Afterlife was the first of the reboots. It's fine. I was being sarcastic.
Okay,
it's fine.
I was gonna say Afterlife wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Frozen Empire is a whole...
See, Frozen Empire would be like obviously sarcastic, but Afterlife's right in that middle ground of like where like there's a bit of people who might think I'm serious if I say like, God, Afterlife was sick. You know, like
Zach, like the 3rd act is really just...
That's a tough one. Oh, that's a tough 3rd act in Afterlife.
So I'm really excited to talk about this movie. As I said, we're actually, I didn't say what movie it was. I think I just said I'm excited to talk about it. But we are breaking our rule today, which we are doing throughout the summer as we prepare for Steven Spielberg's newest Alien movie, Disclosure Day, coming out June 12th. That's my guess. Is that right, Cole?
That's
June
my
12th.
guess. Crowdsourcing.
Is that right? Do you know this?
Sick.
Pacing is everything.
Yes, June 12th, right on the nose.
Ooh, I'm good. God, I'm good at this job.
No 7 in the guess. No 7 in the guess. Usually it's...
It wasn't a guess because I knew it. As I said, I should have bet money. Coming out June 12th, so we're going to be covering Steven Spielberg Alien movies throughout the summer. So far, we've covered Close Encounters, first time that I saw that, and today we will be covering E.T. When I was watching this movie, a little preamble, I realized I don't think I've seen this movie all the way through in a really long time. Like, no, I've seen it all the way through, but it's like when I was watching, I was like, oh my gosh, when was the last time I watched like towards the end these scenes? I think a lot of the times when I've seen it, it's been like I caught some of it on TV and then I'd have to go somewhere else or do something else. So I haven't like sat down and watched it in a while. So it was a much appreciated time. There is a go-around question, but I'm going to ignore it as it's a stupid question.
I
hate it.
Whoa.
Like it.
I hate it.
Wow.
Do you hate Katy
Okay,
Perry?
the go-around question doesn't... It's not like you need to take a lot of time on it. I think it's just a little... Warm up your public speaking juices here a little bit.
What do you think I do? Record this at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. What do you think I'm doing for the first... What is it? 20-something hours of the day?
Man. We would have been done with the go-around question if you just let it happen. So what do you think of Katy Perry's E.T. song? And, what is your favorite single from the Teenage Dream album?
And I've got the singles up.
There, you will have heard all of them. There's 6 of them. And it's a pretty prolific album, if not a good one. But you will definitely know them, these
Just
songs.
the singles?
Yes.
Yeah, so Corey, the singles are California Girls, Tone Tan Fit and Ready, Teenage Dream,
Titular track.
Okay.
Firework, E.T., Last Friday Night, or Last Friday 13th. And the one that got away.
Kind of slept on right there at the end.
I would argue these are all like certified
Well,
bangers. These are
really fell
all
off, didn't she?
great.
I would argue that they're all certified. We have heard them for sure. They're certified, made it onto the pop radios and stayed there. But I kind of did a re-listen today, briefly, to some of these, and I've decided with fresh ears
Declaration. Play the
that
Declaration.
TGIF is quite a bad song. It's like,
Dare you?
that's a tough one, man.
Sick.
Those
man.
little like short spoken words.
Are you here? And I'm here, but he's not here.
That's kind of crazy. He just jumped off. He didn't even look like he was having a problem.
It didn't, and
His
well,
computer might have died.
I got a thing that said reconnecting. I don't know if you saw that.
With him?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that.
Well, Zach, that's a great take.
What is your favorite?
I mean, looking at them, normally I'd be like Firework, but if I think like to one, like when I hear it, like it actually makes me feel something. The one that got away might be my favorite of all these singles.
I'll say Firework.
Zach, what's your favorite single off the album?
It would be the titular track, Teenage Dream. I think that's actually a pretty outstanding pop song. And here's the thing. There's like songs on here. One of the reasons why I don't think TGIF is good is like Katy Perry, in general, it's not like a crazy take, but like, she has a good voice. She's a pop star.
Yes.
TGIF doesn't really show, there's not a song that you really need to have a good voice for that song. Whereas like Firework and Teenage Dream, they're a little bit more melodic songs that I think, require to actually have a good voice for. And I think those probably are the top two from the album. But then E.T. right there. I do enjoy E.T. The Kanye West verses are kind of silly, but that's just for the single in the music video. The one on the album is just Katy Perry, no Kanye. And I think I like that. Like a big A-list pop star has like a sleazy B-movie alien sci-fi song, and release it as a single. Like that's
The chorus is really like
it's a good loud music.
pops.
It's a
It
good
pops.
loud music hook. Yeah.
It's on my must playlist for the wedding.
Is that really? I would love that. I would really love
Katy
that.
Perry's E.T.
So Zach,
I'll
I
hit
do
the
have a
floor.
question.
I'll hit the floor.
Your feelings about TGIF have been stated.
Yes.
So there was another song about Friday that came out this same year on
I know it.
March 14th by an artist by the name of Rebecca Black. So would you take TGIF over Rebecca Black's Friday?
Yes, I would take just about almost not any song ever, but I would say the vast majority, like 99% of songs ever over Rebecca Black Friday. But the music video for Friday's
How
fun
did that one blow up?
because it was like so bad, like kind of like the room of music, like the Tommy Wiseau The Room of music.
Gotta have my bowl, gotta have cereal.
That was just a hell of a lyric. It's a hell of a lyric. Sitting in
Well-
the front seat, sitting in the back seat, gotta make my mind up.
Which seat can I take?
I don't understand how you guys know these lyrics.
Those are
But
the
on
only
that
two I
note-
know.
On to the action.
Even the opening scene, there's always some random girl who gets a call that undoubtedly ends up getting her killed. It's also predictable. There's no element of surprise. You can see everything coming.
Did that surprise you?
Why?
Because you talk too much. Now shut the fuck up and watch the movie.
I got booted the second I started talking shit about TGIF. It's like
Yeah.
it's like Katy Perry's people.
She's
It was
married
like
to the Prime Minister.
immediately
So
they
she's
booted
like
me out.
dating Justin Trudeau now? Or it's
Yeah,
like,
which I don't think he's the Prime Minister anymore. I think it
Okay.
officially switched.
The
over.
Dowager
But
Prime
Cole,
Minister.
We do not have a call sheet. We do not have a call sheet, so we're getting right into the action. And I decided to watch this movie, but not listen to this movie. So you're gonna have to tell me exactly
were they talking
they
about?
said during this movie, Cole, in the summary.
so first E.T.'s all like,
No. I just stopped you right there. I just didn't like where that was going.
side note, I remember I used to have a VHS where this trailer would play on it, and the tagline was like that trailer voice, and it's, he's lost, he's alone, and he's 30 million miles away from home.
I thought you were gonna say like, and he's 33.
No, but
when was that established?
Like,
Age Jesus was
one of those trailer lines that stuck with me. Anyway, the stranded alien hides near the home of a boy named Elliot Taylor. Elliot lures the alien into his house using candy and secretly shelters him in his room.
When you put it like that.
I mean, he does do that. He lures him with candy. He's got the Reese's Pieces.
Those are Skittles.
The Reese's Pieces. It's actually a really famous bit of advertising, like product placement in movies. It's like blew up Reese's Pieces. It made them. This is the house that Reese's Pieces is the house that E.T. built.
Anyway, Elliot names the alien E.T. and introduces him to his siblings Michael and Gertie, who help keep him hidden. E.T. demonstrates special powers like telekinesis, healing, and reviving plants. Elliot and E.T. develop a deep mental and emotional connection, sharing sensations and thoughts. He builds a device to contact his home planet with the children's help. During an attempt to call his people, E.T. becomes weak and is later found near dead. Government agents capture him and quarantine the house. E.T. appears to die, but is revived after Elliot expresses his love, revealing his species is returning for him. Elliot and his friends help E.T. escape, and he reunites with his people and leaves Earth, promising Elliot he will always be with him.
Great summary.
Just catch that his E.T. saying, "I'll be right here" is what Elliot said to him earlier when he went to go get food or something.
I didn't make that connection. But it just reinforces what I already thought about this movie, which I did have something that I wanted to start off. It wasn't really a go-around question. It's more of just a statement. And you know
Corey,
what?
If you say you hate this movie.
Partially, it's an apology. Because after watching this, I was like, I don't think I can give Steven Spielberg lower than a 4 on anything he ever makes after watching this. And so I want to apologize for what I did on
Close Encounters. Let's go.
I think it still stands.
Can I play the?
My thinking at the time.
Can I play the Change My Mind sounder? I never have a chance to play it.
Please, I changed my mind.
It played.
Right
you can
there.
go.
I changed my mind.
We fucked up. I'm sorry I was whack.
And it is better this way.
Look, if I could go back in a machine, I would. But I can't.
'Cause I suck at this.
No, I didn't mean it.
I think I hear what you're saying, but I don't think you're saying what you mean.
Sorry, y'all. It was an accident.
That's good.
Well, that's great to hear. It's great to hear that you
I don't
changed
think
your
I
hateful
usually have a section in my notes where it's like small complaints or like big complaints, and I have 2 different sections. And I wrote down a few small complaints, but then looking back on them after I wrote them down, I was like, I don't really care. Like, this isn't even a complaint. Like, it was just kind of fun and it moved the story. Like, it really wasn't. I really don't think there was much in this movie that I disliked. And I was wondering, because I have a lot of positive things that I want to talk about. And I do want to talk about a lot of the story, too, which I think we could talk about in generalities instead of like, oh, this was good, this was bad. But my question to you guys is, was there one part of this movie that you didn't like, or any part of this movie that you didn't like that you can point out and we could talk about? Because I do want to hear about it. I do want to talk about it, because I honestly, there were 2 small parts and we could talk about them, but honestly, I don't really feel strongly about it. And I
don't want to force a complaint. I mean, I remember thinking while watching it that maybe the scene when E.T.'s at home going through stuff and Elliot's in class and kind of feeling it at the same time. I was like, this is kind of it's fine. I enjoy it, I guess. But here's the thing is I was ready for that scene to be over, but not because that scene was bad at all. By any means, not bad at all. And honestly, it is in itself. It is kind of quirky and fun. It's literally just because everything else around it. I think when he's at home with E.T. and when he's with his siblings and stuff with the mom, Dee Wallace, all that stuff is so strong that I was like, oh, this quirky little he's getting drunk and freeing the frog scene is just kind of like a goofy little sidetrack right in the middle of the movie. And I get why it's we have to establish the connection there, even with distance between them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I want them together. I want that. And so, yeah, again, I'm forcing a complaint, but it's only just because everything else is so strong that scene, just kind of sticks out a little bit to me.
Yeah. My argument to that is why that works for me as well is because they are going through this whole thing together. We're just seeing it from a different side, and I think Elliot's version, lands really well for me because the idea of this kid causing a revolt so large that he releases all of these frogs in class is just kind of a funny idea for me.
Why did that kid get down? I mean, him swooning that girl for a kiss or whatever, like spinning her and grabbing her and spinning her. Isn't there like a kid that just conveniently falls on the ground right in front of him for him to step up and kiss her, or was that kid intentional? I would have to rewatch that scene, but I remember thinking that was a choice. That was odd.
I don't think it was intentional.
That's a bit.
I didn't take it as intentional.
It's a bit odd when you watch that. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. Again, I'm annoying myself already by we are scratching and clawing to find something bad to say about E.T. right now. This is a pretty damn good movie.
Right.
But
that's why I wanted to get it out of the way.
Doesn't
Well, yeah, I got something.
It goes on a little long, but it doesn't
How dare
push
you.
the level where it's okay, these kids couldn't do this. There's not that feeling these teenage boys couldn't ride their bikes this way, anything like that. It doesn't push. I feel the realm of possibility, the realm of possibility, and what they're able to do feels completely normal. And it feels they're not doing kick flips or anything.
That would be a bit much.
Yeah.
In terms of the biking, this is again, and not even a complaint, it's just more like a haha observation that I made was when E.T. lifts all of them into the air and they're all flying, I'm like, why are they still pedaling? They're all up there pedaling in the air, high in the air.
Because green screen,
what they do.
I was about to say, yeah, I think that genuinely, in my head, I was like, it's literally got to be because they're riding a bikes and that's how they, you put them onto the film print or something. I don't know.
So I will say that riding their bike, the bike chase scene was one of the things I originally wrote down as a negative because I was it had good moments, but overall I was there is just no way that they can get away from all these cops on bikes by going on streets. There is just no way. But
going through houses and construction and staying off the roads until the last bit, and then they would have been caught if E.T. didn't fly them out of there.
Right. No, it just went on I think the reason I wrote it down is because it went on a little long for me to be okay, the believability here is stretched just a little thin. But again, not even really a complaint that I'm going to die on. If you say it's entertaining, I'm going to be you know what? There were really entertaining parts of that chase.
I will say the funniest part for me is when it cuts to a side angle and the person on Elliott's, because of course they put a stunt double, is just as big.
Yeah, I did catch that.
But you can't blame them. You can't blame them.
Obviously, it's keeping the young actors safe, which is very important. And,
Why do you say that?
He also might not be able to ride a bike.
Yeah, I also have I have no knock, but I was watching it. I'm I wonder if Corey's gonna see this and go on one of his how are we supposed to believe that that's Elliot?
No,
on the bike?
I am not. I don't do that. I don't do that. But it was really funny when they would show Elliot and he had lines and he was talking and he would just be trying to talk around E.T. and then they would show the back of him and they were pedaling around a corner. And his stunt double is clearing E.T. by his entire head, is looking over him. And I'm okay, it's pretty egregious, but I understand.
I think the notes that we have are attributable also to just 80s filmmaking. And what you could do back then versus what you could do now,
Well, I do have one.
Okay, go ahead.
One. Again, I'm not worried about it. I've moved on. I don't care about it. But there was one that I wrote down that was not we can't attribute to 80s filmmaking. And it was when Elliot woke up after they had made the satellite, the radio. First of all, them making that radio, awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. Loved that. Yeah. I was a huge fan of that process.
Boy Scout and you really enjoyed that.
Yeah. That was great. The part
they made a bench, they made a radio.
But the part I was what? Is when Elliot woke up and E.T. was so one, he wasn't anywhere near Elliot, And then, what was the brother's name? I didn't write the brother's name down. Mike, yes.
You gotta find him, Mike.
Right, but when Mike went back to find him, he was pretty far away, and he was just laying in a creek. I'm like, did he fall? Like, how exactly did he get
You want to hear how I read that? It's kind of sad, but this is how I read that.
Yeah.
Why E.T. wandered away like that in the middle of the night is, you ever hear about how, like, like dogs, when they're dying, go, like, hide under a porch? Like, dogs in general will try to avoid dying, like, I think, around humans, around people. They will want to die on their own. That's just, I don't know what it is, but I think that's in general the dog behavior. And E.T. going off to die alone means Elliot wouldn't have to wake up and find a dead or dying E.T. next to him. I think it's funny that
scene even better.
Yeah, they put a fucking raccoon next to him in the water just to make it look even worse. Yeah, it's like, man.
I wonder,
dude.
When I saw that, I was like, I wonder if they just got lucky that a raccoon just
come
wandered
on.
next to the E.T. doll, and they're like, film.
Yeah. No, there's someone.
Steven's like, we've got the shot.
No, they got.
There's a dead raccoon.
Steven's got a. It was a living raccoon. It was a living raccoon.
Smelling him and like looking at E.T.
Steven has a raccoon guy. That's not an issue for Steven Spielberg. You kidding me? This guy just made Raiders of the Lost Ark. He's got a raccoon guy. I did love that. Yeah, Mike, you got to find him, and Mike bolting out of there on that bike. It kind of amped me up. It's a good older brother. There's really wholesome sibling interactions in this movie.
I can't wait to talk about the family dynamic, because that obviously gets
sure.
into, like.
Okay.
I do want to get to that, but I think we should continue on the E.T. conversation since he's the name of the movie. I think we should talk about him since we were just talking.
He's a friend.
Extra-Terrestrial.
Him choosing to, if that was the decision there and that was the thinking behind it, walk away from Elliot so he didn't have to see him die in the morning, or didn't have to wake up to that, like his body or anything like that, didn't have to see him suffer, and kind of sparing Elliot of that pain.
That's just a theory.
Even so, it kind of goes along with the idea that we see throughout this movie that E.T. is a very friendly alien. He's like Casper, but
yes,
for
he is.
aliens.
He's the friendly alien.
And I think that was a very, now very interesting perspective, because you see it as a way of like, it's almost a buddy movie, an adventure movie, and it's not something scary at all. It's just another part of the world, and you're not hit with this like, oh my gosh, the wonder of it. You're more hit with like, oh my gosh, the quirkiness of E.T., And
He's
I
just
think
a
that's
silly little guy.
Cole, you touched on it. I don't want to talk about it quite yet because there's a lot to talk about with the sibling dynamic. I think E.T. fits right into that as like just another piece of the family almost, and like all their dynamics together. I mean, he really fits into it. So how did you guys feel about like that friendly version of an alien being portrayed in a movie?
You cool if I...
You're talking?
No, actually, I'd prefer Zach.
No, but...
I'm just kidding.
I mean, we've covered quite a few movies where aliens are the bad guy.
Name 7.
All the alien movies.
Aliens.
Yeah.
Alien Romulus.
But that being...
Probably exactly 7 of them.
It's just fun to see an alien who, is very... Not like scary looking. Like, yes, he's an alien, but he's not like a scary...
I love his design.
He's waddling around. He's got like weird long fingers.
I like that his neck extends.
His neck stretches out. He's not a scary guy. And I think that works to it reinvents this kind of genre that we know of, like the alien film, because they're usually the bad guy. The original Day the Earth Stood Still is big about how aliens are basically coming to destroy us. Of course, it's also in the new one, but...
Now, wait a minute, Cole. That's actually interesting you make that one, because that one's like right in the middle, because isn't there also... And now, I might be wrong. There's also a good alien that is like warning them, right?
Yeah, like
Keanu Reeves is that's the remake. But
yeah, I've only recently seen like the newer one, so yeah, Keanu is the good alien.
Yeah. Now, yeah, okay. So there's the alien.
But it's not as common.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, that's true, and it's definitely more common for aliens to be like something to be afraid of in these movies. But
yeah,
that's why. Okay, so I have this note here. And I'm sure we'll circle back to E.T. as a character specifically at some point soon. But so this movie, was released in June of 1982, which we've talked about before on this podcast, or maybe even off mic, just about how loaded that month was with movies, specifically sci-fi movies.
Surprise.
June 82 surprise, exactly.
Surprise.
And so The Thing bombed. John Carpenter's The Thing, which is another alien on Earth movie. Now, that alien got here thousands of years ago, millions of years ago, whenever it was, and then froze over and they found it and it gets out. It's definitely a scarier, more cynical world view of that movie in terms of the paranoia and like what the alien's going to do and take over the world and all that stuff compared to this movie, which this movie made like 70 times its budget or something. Like, it's absurd. Like, this was like, I think the highest grossing movie of all time until Jurassic Park, maybe. I'm not sure. So this, I guess, yeah, like what we're talking about there is like, do you in general prefer your alien stories to be like friendly like this, or kind of darker? Because here's the thing. A few of the other friendly alien movies that I wrote down here, we have Close Encounters, obviously we just talked about, and that one walks the line because it's really at the end where it's really clear that it's more about discovery. We're not really meeting the alien until the end. You know, they're kind of like studying us.
They feel a kid, you know.
They do that.
Still don't really meet the aliens.
Yeah,
like, they're not really characters. They're this like presence that's felt throughout the movie. But yeah, go on.
Arrival is a similar one to that. We're talking to the aliens. The whole movie is about communicating in Arrival. Which I think is a really good movie. Starman. I don't know if either of you have seen this.
John Carpenter.
It is a John Carpenter movie, and it feels like a Thing bombed while this made a lot of money, and then John Carpenter, not immediately after, because he makes Christine in between these movies, but he makes Starman a couple years later. It's probably the most lighthearted John Carpenter movie in the sense that it's like Jeff Bridges is an alien that can kind of take the shape of something, and he crash lands on Earth somehow, ends up on Earth. And the first thing he sees that he can take the shape of is a depressed woman watching a video of her dead husband. And he takes the shape of her dead husband. And like they go on a road trip together with this, you know, Karen Allen from Indiana Jones movies. She goes on a road trip with this alien in the form of her dead husband, which is a really interesting movie. And I think it's actually really solid. Like, maybe John Carpenter's most underrated movie. But that's another really friendly alien movie. And then I actually have Iron Giant here. I think he's built by aliens at the very least. You know, that's kind of like that's a kind of a friendly alien movie.
Russians.
And then Paul. And then I have Paul. You know, Star Wars is like a whole other thing.
Paul's the antagonistic friendly alien because, of course, it's Seth Rogen as an alien.
But then, okay, my favorite mean alien movies would be like The Thing, like we talked about, and then War of the Worlds, which we will talk about, and then like Signs, you know, so like those, I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but those are probably the first ones I would be drawn to. And then, of course, the first couple actual alien movies, like Alien and Aliens, but those feel a bit different because those are like those are in space, so those always feel a little bit different to me than aliens on Earth. So I don't know. I think we need the optimistic, hopeful alien movies, you know, like, but I do like the ones with the edge. I don't know.
What about you finished Tim Burton's filmography?
Oh, Mars Attacks.
Attack on Mars.
Mars Attacks. Yeah, I forgot about that. I enjoy that one a lot. Yeah, that one's kind of a sillier, but they're definitely they are very not friendly in that movie.
Well, that's what I was
comically so. Yeah. Yeah, they're mean. They're mean. They have an agenda.
They're mean.
I think there's more of a place for friendly alien adventure movies like this in cinema than the market shows. Because as we said, we're kind of like, there are a decent amount, but like beyond that, I think, because I looked up a list when you were talking about it to see like, okay, what other ones there are. And it goes like basically all the ones you listed. It did list Mars Attack, but I was like, I don't know if that, I haven't seen it, so I can't really speak to it. But then after that, it gets to a very animated version of that genre. So like it says Home is one. I don't know if you're familiar with Home.
That's like the Rihanna Jim Parsons one.
So like
movie's sick.
It gets more into that, and then Monsters versus Aliens, but that one's not really. But they have monsters.
Galaxy.
Yeah. So I think there's I would bet there's more of an appetite for movies that show friendly alien, or not even just friendly, but like this is like very humanizing. It's just it's very like, it's not that he's friendly, he's just curious, you know? And I think seeing curiosity through something different than what we are, like kind of seeing like what we would do in the same shoes, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like if we were E.T. being curious, of leading with curiosity is a very like interesting way of putting it. So I think there is more of a place than has been shown right now.
And it's also,
but I do love the bad aliens. I really do like the bad aliens. Like talking about The Thing, where we were June 82, like where The Thing bombed.
Our surprise,
The Thing is a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is crazy that it bombed. But it kind of goes to my point that there might be more of an appetite for friendly alien adventure movies than we've seen so far.
And there's a way to make them work, and I will bring up not a great friendly alien adventure movie, which is Race to Witch Mountain, starring The Rock.
Is that friendly? I guess they're friendly.
They're friendly, and he's like helping them out, but they're also in human form, so you kind of lose that vibe of like the alien of it all. Like the fact that E.T. kind of looks a little weird is also what makes him endearing.
Kinda.
Dude, that shot of like his
I see what's on the inside, okay?
Those like little hands.
Red heart.
You know what? I think you're 100% correct. Where it's like he looks really weird if you just see a picture of him. But watching this movie, the appearance does start to fade, and you see him more as like probably closer to a human than you'd probably see at the very beginning.
He's just a little guy. He's just waddling around. He's just a little guy.
You could see yourself more in him by the end.
So in June 1982, the other movies that were released that month, you have Poltergeist, and you have Blade Runner, and you have Wrath of Khan, and you have The Thing.
I'm mad.
Why are you mad?
Cole is putting words in my mouth. And I hate it.
I didn't say anything.
Yes, you did. You know what you did. I'm sorry, Zach.
There were no words exchanged.
You know what you did. You know what you did.
There were no words exchanged.
Continue, Zach. I'm sorry.
I don't even remember what I was saying.
Mad. You were talking about June 82.
The movies that came out in June 82, the surprise.
I think the interesting thing, though, specifically with two of these, is E.T. and Poltergeist, because Steven Spielberg wanted to make Poltergeist, decided he was going to do E.T. instead, but he was going to produce Poltergeist. You know, he also co-wrote it, and he gave it to Tobe Hooper. It is, yeah, that's what I was going to say, it's like extremely debated that he was on set apparently almost every single day on Poltergeist, and kind of commandeered a lot of the production from Tobe Hooper, who was the listed director.
What has that director done since?
Tobe Hooper is dead now, but he did his most famous thing came before that, when he did Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, the first original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and he also did the Salem's Lot TV movie from the 70s and stuff. So I mean, you know, he's a name. So it's not like, oh, where this nobody made a movie and, you know, Spielberg took it from him. It's like Spielberg was taking it from a guy who had enough notoriety. But this, when you watch it, it just feels like a Spielberg movie. It really does.
Yeah.
When I was watching this, I thought of that scene where the woman comes in and she's explaining where the daughter went to the mother. And it's this calm in the middle of chaos, which I think this movie does really well, because there's these very chaotic moments, and then you have these really calm.
He's great at those moments. Yeah.
Fun moments where there is a lot of emotion.
Huh. Corey, do you have
writing the story and producing this movie with Poltergeist?
Yeah, and it's just, God, the run he was on from Raiders in 81 to, you know, E.T., and then at the very least producing and writing, if not ghost directing, Poltergeist, which came down the same month. And then I think what was that? What was after this? Temple of Doom? That would have
been 82 or 83, right?
Temple of Doom's 84. I'm just trying to think of, does Spielberg have a movie right after this? I don't remember, before Temple of Doom. I don't know. I'm crowdsourcing. Either way, he's just doing great. Corey, do you have of the 5 movies that came out that month? The Thing, Poltergeist, E.T., Blade Runner, and Wrath of Khan. Do you have?
He directed a segment of The Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah, that got a little messy. Overall, not his segment specifically, but John Landis's.
He didn't kill those kids.
Yeah. Do you have a ranking of those 5 great films? You've not seen
I
what?
still have not seen Blade Runner.
Okay, of the other 4 then.
So I do want to. I want to put that in there. Man,
what a month!
I really can't decide what number 1 is. Number 4. I'm probably gonna do Wrath of Khan, then Poltergeist. I think E.T. and The Thing are just like neck and neck. I really can't decide between the two. They are both so good. Let me watch The Thing, and I'll come back to you boys, and text you guys individually and tell me my official rankings. But I mean, they're 1 and 2 right there.
I'll tell you what, us doing E.T. now really will make the June 82 thing, if we do that, a lot easier. Because I mean, it's still great. What we have left is still
a surprise, though.
Who cares? We still have The Thing, Poltergeist, and Blade Runner to do there. And I don't know if we want to do Wrath of Khan. It's kind of part of a larger discussion, but Star Trek boy might want to talk about it. It's a great movie. I will also go Wrath of Khan 5, Blade Runner 4, and then honestly, before this most recent viewing of E.T., I would have done E.T. 3 and then Poltergeist. But now I'm going to go Poltergeist 3. And then, I'm right there with you, Corey, where I think I mean...
It's hard.
It's mood, because they are so different. Really it's so different. Just what mood are you in for The Thing or E.T.?
Right.
So, not sure. Cole, you have a ranking of those 5?
I recommend The Thing to every single person I talk to.
Yeah.
They can't get out of a conversation without me saying, you gotta watch
How you doing, sir? Great today. Here's your mail. It's great. You should watch The Thing tonight when you go home. I don't own a TV, sir.
Mailmen don't.
And then I put in.
Is that you saying mailman can't own a TV?
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't own a TV.
You were making a quirky little joke about recommending movies, and then you stumbled your way into classism. It's just.
Don't we all? Cole,
They're
what's
closer
your
in line to the presidency than I am. I am gonna go. I haven't actually seen Wrath of Khan.
Damn
I've
good.
seen Into Darkness, which is poor retelling, apparently, of Wrath of Khan. So I'm going to go Poltergeist 4, The Thing 3, Blade Runner 2, and E.T. is my number 1.
Did you put The Thing at number 3? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I might fire up The Thing after this.
I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm just going to say that's quite...
I like Blade Runner more than The Thing, but
it is
E.T.
a really
is my
good
clear
movie.
number 1.
I can't
E.T. is my
argue
clear
with
number
you
1.
because I haven't seen Blade Runner, so I just
Now,
simply can't argue with you.
Before we move on from the June 82-ness of it, I do want to feel like my due diligence is I should recommend the book that was recommended to me by Cole's sister Marie, and then I read it. It was incredible, and it really just kind of makes you depressed about the current state of movies because it's all about...
The greatest year or whatever.
Yeah, so it's kind of about that. So it's Chris Nishawaty's, I don't know how to say his name, Nishawaty's book, The Future Was Now.
Recommend the title.
The Future Was Now, Mad Men Mavericks in the Epic Sci-Fi Summer of 1982. It deals with perhaps the most extraordinary, impactful 8-week period, so it goes a little bit before and after June. Most impactful 8-week period in movie history. Within the course of just 2 months, 8 films were released that changed the course of the industry. Road Warrior, Mad Max 2, E.T., Poltergeist, Conan the Barbarian, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Tron, The Thing, and Blade Runner. The final 2 opening on the same day. It's just, wow, movies were just getting pumped out. Name was The Future Was Now, Mad Men Mavericks in the Epic Sci-Fi Summer of 1982. It's a long title. I was just
Future Was Now, Mad Men
Mavericks
Zach just texted
and the Epic Sci-Fi Summer.
Put it in the notes.
What about that is unclear. It was a damn good book. I just was recommending it. So shout out Marie for that. Maybe Marie will be on this podcast one day and we'll talk about it. Who knows? Maybe. The next little note I have here, just a little easy go-around question, is this movie does take place on Halloween. Do you wish, or around Halloween, Halloween's right in the middle. Do you wish that angle or aesthetic was played up more at all?
I think it's played up enough.
Yeah.
I think you can't, put it into this whole pocket of the film, or else you lose all of these other great things that we got throughout the film. That being said, I love the debate with Gertie and how, she's like, I'm going as a cowgirl. And he's like, no, you're going to say you're going as a ghost. And then when they take the picture and it knocks E.T. over because he's not used to the Flash, all of those little things are just so good. And I love how oblivious the mom is, that she is looking away and they have the time to reach down and pick him up, and then the cute
so oblivious.
Oh, she's got a lot going on.
I know.
Ouch.
Oh, that bit's great. It's a fake knife. I want to say biggest laugh of the movie for me is that scene, Cole, but it's not when he falls over. It's when she's taking the photo. And she's like, "You guys look great," or whatever, and E.T. goes, "Thank you."
He's such a goofy little guy, you know?
Him interacting with the mom, or like the lack of interaction with the mom, I think plays for the biggest comedic relief in this entire movie. Because you have the Halloween picture scene, but you also have the scene where he is walking around in the kitchen. Yes. And she is like putting groceries away, and he's just like not worried about it at all. And Gertie's just watching this, like the orchestra, like it play out.
Gertie almost blows it like 5 times, and the one of the funniest ones is he can talk, and the mom, "Of course he can talk, sweetie."
My answer to the Halloween thing is yes, obviously you guys know I love Halloween aesthetics and all that more than anyone, but I think actually I will say it would have been difficult to do that while setting this in California, because it's just you're not going to get the leaves falling and the autumn winds and stuff. Now, the movie seems a little chilly at certain points. You know, they got to wear the hoods, and he looks real cold when he wakes up that next morning.
You guys don't celebrate Halloween out there?
No, we do. I'm just saying a lot of what I'm drawn to with Halloween is just like the autumnal atmosphere, and you just don't get that as strongly.
Can I tell you something, though?
Yes.
Word of the day.
I love the way they used Halloween in this movie, because I feel like in a lot of these adventure movies, you know, adventure shows, especially, you know what, this could be me looking at it by today's standards. Halloween is always so played up, and it's always this super big moment, and to show that it's like something that they're not even worried about, it is used as like a mechanism for their plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love that, because it brings you to their mindset during all of this. Like, usually Halloween's like the kids' most favorite time of the year. You know, like you get to walk around, hang out with your friends when it's dark, and go just get candy. Like, I can't think of something that was more enjoyable, you know, when you were a kid. Like, that was something that was so cool. And the fact that they're like, we can use this to focus on this bigger thing that we have going on, just brings more of a gravity to it, and shows that like this is big for them. This is huge, and it brings it to a whole nother level. Because I think a lesser movie would have seen them say like, okay, E.T., we need you to stay in the closet. It's Halloween. We are going to go out and trick or treat. We'll be back later tonight, and I'll give you all the Reese's Pieces you want. You know?
Reese's Pieces are great.
And then they would have found like the comedy, or like it would have been like the stressful situation would have been him not listening, getting out, and everyone like, whoa, look at that costume, and they have to like rush to get him back.
I hate that movie that you're describing.
I think that's the wrong direction for what this movie actually did.
They skipped the cheaper bit of that, like the whole, "Oh my God, Gertie, I love your costume," where it's
Thank
like,
you.
no, we're telling Gertie, we're telling everyone Gertie's going as a ghost so that we can sneak him out and she can go trick or treating like on her own.
Mm-hmm.
And that just goes to show that these are Zach loves competently written characters.
Yes.
And they're kid characters, so you often don't expect these things.
I want to say, this seems like a good spot. This is a good spot to bring this up. I had this later, but I thought of this today while putting notes down. Is Steven Spielberg the best director for kids, in the sense that kids in his movies are rarely annoying and they're really likable without being like unrealistically competent? Like, I think what we see from the kids in this movie, it's not, you know, I believe it. I totally buy it. And they are still kids trying to get this stuff done. But like thinking about like the kids in this, you know what? No, not technically his movie, but the kids in Poltergeist, I think are likable.
Throw Goonies
Lex
in there too.
Goonies is produced by him.
Produced and wrote the story.
Yeah, and I would say the Lex and Tim in Jurassic Park are really likable and, you know, good, well acted kids. We were complimenting the kid in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. What other Spielberg kids are there? I'm trying to think of obvious ones I maybe miss. Oh, Short Round. Awesome. All-timer in Temple of Doom.
Okie dokie.
The kid's awesome.
I the only like director I can really think of, like off the top of my head, is Cameron. and how he directs younger actors, teen kids in films like Terminator 2, Judgment Day, which I think it was about a year ago, Zach and I were rewatching it, and Zach's exact words were, God, this kid sucks.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to go Spielberg, because I think it's not that he's a bad actor, but yeah, I hate that kid in Terminator 2. John Connor's annoying.
Did you just call moi?
I looked it up. I wasn't ready for this.
Uh-huh.
I guess I didn't get this far in the notes. But I looked it up, and it did say Steven Spielberg is widely considered the best director of younger actors. But it did show other movies that were in there. Jojo Rabbit was on there, but I don't respect Taika Waititi, so I'm gonna say he's not on there. But I did think Harry Potter and
Chris Columbus. Yeah,
of the first
Chris
two
Columbus
movies.
Also did Gremlins. He wrote Gremlins, never mind.
And Jumanji.
Yeah.
So I think he's probably
did
up
he do
there,
Goonies?
but I don't think he's better than Steven Spielberg. But I think
Yeah.
he should be in the conversation.
Dakota Fanning in War of the Worlds. She's also really good. I think she's actually
I
really
don't
good the more I
disagree.
think about that.
I think
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg probably is, because you're right. We were how the kid was acting and how the kids were doing it in Close Encounters. That, yes, you're 100% correct. So I do.
Nolan
think he probably
just
is.
doesn't have children in his films, so we can't critique that. I mean,
Practical filmmaking, they can only work for so many hours a day.
and he just hates
But
children.
then you have to think about it in terms. Steven Spielberg was probably using the kids to act for 8 hours a day plus.
So there is apparently, I mean, this is not common.
Working under different
to
conditions.
make sure like the kids were always on the same page. And I don't know if he still does this. He shot the film in the order that the screenplay is written, and that is not like a really common thing to do.
It's not.
Often you will shoot out of order. So I wonder if he does that often with at least the children, to keep them on track and make sure they're because I think that might honestly be easier on a younger mind than if you're shooting out.
Yeah. I think it's easier for a movie like this, maybe with less big, I doubt Temple of Doom was shot in order for that to be, yeah, for him to, I think that would have been impossible just with all the different sets and stunts and all that, but yeah, but it works really well I had heard that too about this movie specifically, and it works really well for the, really getting that goodbye scene at the end, because it really was like their goodbye to this movie and goodbye to, the E.T. working with the E.T. prop and the character and stuff. I feel like that's a good segue to just talking about the family dynamic in this movie specifically, or kind of revisiting that, because we talked about it a lot with Close Encounters of the Third Kind and how we're watching Ray. That's the main character of that movie is Ray, and he's the father who's kind of abandoning his family and pushing his family aside to chase this thing.
But is Ray these kids' dads?
No, I don't think so. I don't think Ray would have gone to Mexico. I don't think that was his fate.
Very similar.
Yeah.
He hates Mexico.
I watched a thing with Spielberg talking about this movie today where he says people do think Close Encounters is my most personal film, but actually I think it's E.T. At least to this point. I don't know what he would say now. To this point, this was more personal than Close Encounters, and it's because it's closer to he was a kid when this happened.
Parents got divorced.
Yeah. He wasn't his dad. I feel it, and this is me playing armchair psychologist here, but I feel like after the Ray stuff in Close Encounters, I think this is him walking it back a bit, maybe, kind of with where he ended in the end of that movie, and Close Encounters might have been him trying to understand why one of his parents might have left, or just kind of tap into that, and just work through it that way. Whereas this E.T. is closer to him being honest of how it felt for him, and where it left him. So I mean, I can only speculate, So I'm not trying to tap into his head too much, but that's kind of what it feels like here. So this, it really is where we meet the kids, and I think that opening dad's in Mexico with what's her face, and the way that affects the mom immediately, and then she says he hates Mexico, that's a really well done scene.
I love that because it's like the three portions of it. It's Mike who wants to protect his mom.
Yeah, his reaction's great too.
Who's just mad about everything, and like he's mad at the world. He's kind of ignored by his brother's friends who are like, yeah, you can play D&D with us, and then clearly just not really caring that Elliot really does feel left out by this whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gertie, who is a little girl, and she does not know what is going on, to the point where she's like, what's Mexico?
Yeah, that scene specifically was very real, and I really liked the aftershock effect that it had on the mom too throughout the movie. Like Mexico, like she's still thinking about it, and that's just very real, like a very real human emotion to have something that like hit you hard.
Did it hit you really hard, Corey? Did it hit you really hard? Why did this scene hit you really hard? Well, my parents love each other, so I think it's hilarious. Love you, Mary. Hope you're listening. Love you.
She is. But I did write down, like, Elliot is taking shots at everyone at this table, and it looks like he's purposely doing it. So, like, you know how you said, like, Mike is trying to keep the peace and, like, realizes how his mother feels about it all? I think Elliot's right there with him with realizing exactly how his mom feels about it, because he says dad's in Mexico right after he calls Mike penis breath, which is insane for a 10-year-old kid to call their brother. It feels like crazy to do that.
The implication also to penis breath.
Kind of homophobic.
Like, yeah.
But it's an insane thing to say at a family dinner when you're 10 years old.
And the realness of the mom's reaction to laugh and then stifle the laugh.
Elliot,
and then have to...
Well, I love the scream laugh of like, you did the wrong thing. And then it's very calmly, sit down.
Sit down.
You know,
yeah.
She goes through. Control. There was like a lot of emotion in that moment, but the actress who plays the mom plays it so well.
Dee Wallace.
Dee Wallace, yes.
The actress is Dee Wallace. Yeah, but don't they call the mom by her first name at different points in this movie too? That also seems kind of interesting for where the kids are at their relationship with their mother.
Dee Wallace. Did they?
Thank you.
I only hit my dad with Conrad when I'm really pissed off at him.
Mary. Dee Wallace plays Mary, Corey. Did that also?
Oh.
That also make it hit home.
Come on.
No wonder I like this movie so much. It's my life. Was it Michael that called? I think it was just Elliot.
I don't remember now who was doing it. I remember noting it in my head when it happened.
Elliot's kind of in this weird stage of his life where he's like, I'm growing up. And you see it with his brother's friends, the Pseudo Supremus. What's his brother's friend call him? He calls him, like, they're exchanging insults back and forth. And it's like he's
line boy.
He's on this intelligence level with his brother's friends, and he's like, I'm cool enough to hang out with these guys, but he's also a kid.
One of you guys had the note in there, where does penis breath land for you in your favorite film, Insults? And I'll just bring this up now. I think just because he brought up that scene where he's going back and forth with his brother's friends. I like the uniqueness of yelling "no charisma" back at a guy like multiple times, because Elliott's yelling like "no charisma, no charisma."
No, he's calling him Pseudo Supremus, and he's saying "no charisma" to Elliot.
Okay, whoever was yelling that, great. Really like.
Yeah.
Yelling at someone that they have no charisma is great. Especially like him yelling it at like a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old or however old Elliot is.
Oh my gosh.
I enjoyed that. But yeah, him wanting to be with his brother's friend, that's a really relatable, as a younger sibling. That's him, you wanting to age yourself up to be cool enough to hang out with your brother's friends, which, at a certain age, you just assume anyone older than you is super cool, like, oh, that's so cool. I get to hang out with my brother's friends. This is so awesome. I'm more grown up. And him trying to play, like, oh, when do I get to play? When do I get to play? And then, like, having to be like, okay, like, I guess. And then leveraging it for, like, Elliot, you get the pizza and then you can play. Like, that was a very believable and relatable thing to see right at the beginning. So, like, just, it really does, this movie is very grounded in that sense. So, like, this, I don't know if this alien in our world thing works if things here feel out of place with how we would, perceive them. Like, it's very relatable suburban little life that we're watching here or whatever. So, and that's part of it. That's the sibling dynamics.
How would you react if you were a kid and this came into your life? Because I love the scene where he's introducing E.T. to Mike, and he goes, I have absolute power, right? I have absolute power. And Mike's like, yeah, you do. And then Mike starts joking about it. And then the facade fades when he finally sees E.T. And then, of course, Gertie runs in and we get the next stretch.
Yeah, the scream. Yeah, part's great. But yeah, I mean, it really is. It's kind of the perfect plot / execution thing for kids and, and also adults. But like, to feel like chosen by something really special. Like, this makes Elliot special to be like, to find E.T. and like forge that bond with him. Like, in this, it just, I mean, we were talking about like, he's feeling abandoned or lonely or whatever, and E.T. becomes like the friend he needed or the father figure, depending on how you want to look at it, given the void in his life. But like this, I don't know, it's a really relatable like setup. Like, it's like, oh, this is just what you like want so bad to happen to you as a kid. So like it works out really well, and it's the perfect metaphor for empathy, given the bond they have. Like, oh, I feel what he feels or whatever he says, and it's just like, oh, he's feeling bad, I'm feeling bad, I'm feeling happy, he's feeling happy. It's a great setup.
The scene where he's like, we'll be fine, okay? And Mike's like, why do you keep saying we?
Yeah.
That, I mean, it's not explained until like we're sick, truly.
Man, E.T. being dead, that seems tough. When they like zip him up.
Killing him. You're killing him.
And they're like, let's put him on ice. Like, I'm calling it. And they start reading the time of death and stuff. It's like, oh man.
What?
He died.
Okay.
I think he was just away from home too long, and his body just couldn't handle it. I mean, the science of it, I just assume is the film logic. Like, we wouldn't survive on Mars. Why would someone from Mars survive here?
Yeah, but isn't it implied that he's getting revived because his love from Elliot, but also like he's getting picked up soon. So is that like the closer his family or friends or whatever get, it's like it sparks him or whatever.
So maybe
I don't know.
It was like they have the same bond with each other that he
Yeah.
was able to develop with Elliot.
Uh-huh.
And so when it got stretched too thin, he lost that connection that he uses to stay alive. And they probably also felt it. So when it like completely disconnected, they were like, oh my gosh, we have to go back. I just felt it. He's still there. And then they went back and like, he's still alive, or he was still alive. We have to go back. So maybe that's what it was. I don't know. And when they got closer, the bond started reconnecting, and that's why he was able to pop back up so much. I don't know.
I actually didn't find myself questioning it much in the moment because I was just so focused on the emotion of Elliot being so happy that E.T. was... And the flowers are a great visual motif for that. Like, that worked really well.
Dying flowers.
And then coming back. Yeah.
I didn't find myself questioning, but thinking back on it now, I'm like, I wonder if there was some sort of way that they were trying to explain it within the story.
Does this movie work if E.T. stayed dead?
I think it does. The triumph in getting him home. I mean, if Elliot can help him, it's also about Elliot's emotional journey of like, it's okay to like let go.
Well, that would be letting go, but yeah.
The ending would be different, and I don't think it would end with E.T.'s death, but I think it still works.
I think it would still work. I still think it'd be a great movie. I don't know if it would have made all the money it made. I think a lot of it comes to how people feel leaving the theater. So like that, I think it would fit with the growing, like the coming of age, the growing up, like, and appreciating your life and others' life and like, and all that. But then it's become more of like an accepting death thing. Whereas I think it is more powerful to like, for him, E.T. to come back to life and, offer Elliot to come with him and Elliot beg him to stay and they both realize they can't. Because E.T. does, he offers Elliot the same thing that the aliens offer Ray in Close Encounters, and it's just like E.T. declines it. So like, whereas Ray accepted it, Elliot declines it. I should say, Elliot declines it and stays with his family, whereas Ray left his family. So
it's played. This scene is played very well in recreated in Iron Giant with Hogarth and the Iron Giant, and the Iron Giant repeats a line to Hogarth where he's like, "Stay, or you stay, I go, no following."
Don't get me started on Iron Giant. Great movie, but I'm actually on the government's side, I think, in that movie. I think this guy can't keep this guy around. Cannot keep that. This death murder bot, anytime he sees a toy gun, he turns into a death bot. Can't keep this thing around. That's crazy. Great movie, though. But yeah, this movie, E.T. coming back to life, like, that's part of like why this has like that, that magical escapism feel, like a fairy tale. Like, they were again, another connection to Close Encounters, the When You Wish Upon a Star thing that kept popping up in Close Encounters. We have like a Peter Pan thing going on here, with like the flying and stuff, and like, that scene where E.T. and Elliot are in the closet watching the mom read a story to Gertie. That is one of my favorite parts of the movie. That scene is like so sweet, and she's like, "Oh, do you believe in magic?" And she's like, "Believe," or whatever. I don't remember exactly what she was saying, but it really does tee up fairies. Yeah, man, dude, that tease.
It's the Tinkerbell scene where like Tinkerbell's dying.
It really does tee up.
Really believe. Close your eyes.
Oh, yeah, that scene's so good, and that really just tees up like the last third of this movie so well.
And I love when Gertie asks her to read it again. The mom's like, "Of course." Like, it's so good.
What a good mom.
Would this movie have worked if it was Ray instead of E.T. and all the aliens
found Elliot? The aliens came back and left Ray, and Elliot finds Ray in the woods and is hiding him in the closet.
Here is your new dad, Elliot.
Put a ghost sheet on him and pretend that he's Drew Barrymore.
Pretend that he's Gertie.
I'll say it. I don't think this movie's as good.
Whoa.
The whole time it's just like Ray doesn't want to go back to his previous family. Okay.
That'd be crazy. And Elliot just brings in a homeless man basically to him.
Bringing in Richard Dreyfuss.
I do think
about the siblings. Though.
Yeah, I was just gonna say is the goodbye still works really well. The goodbye scene I think is also one of the best in the movie, and it's
and I think if you lose the goodbye, it's not the same because the ending is triumphant with the goodbye. If E.T. dies and you have to rework the rest of the movie, you do not feel the same way. Like how do you even rework that?
It would be a hard to watch movie, but it still would be, really good movie. It'd just be, a little bit different of a feeling. But, goodbyes that aren't death are still more, like, especially for kids, that's still a lesson you need to learn. Like, especially back then before, like, smartphones and tablets, where if, like, a friend moved away or you moved away, like, you're going to have to say goodbye. And, like, that, you might see them one day, but it's probably, not as likely, especially without, like, the smartphones and all that, and just how connected we are with screens and the internet. But, like, I work at a school, right? And a girl moved like last week who had been in the class all year.
You were friends with her?
No, sure, she's a good student, but I'm just saying, like, watching her on the last day say goodbye to like her friends and how they were all like bawling, crying. It was actually kind of hard to watch. It was like really like sad. I got pretty sad just watching it. It was like goodbyes are tough. Goodbyes are tough, and I think that makes like that heartache at the end of this movie. It really hits that really hard because like they're not going to see each other again. E.T. and Elliot, like that's.
Love Elliot's little last bye as like tears are just streaming down his face.
When he goes, I'll be right here, man. That hit me, and I cried. It got me a bit. I teared up a bit for sure during the goodbye of the scene. It works really well.
I want to adjust my answer to the if he dies in this movie doesn't work. I think it does work, but I don't think it works if he dies in the hands of the government. I think they do have to make an escape, and they do have to make it back to his communicator, and I think it has to be somewhat like, oh my gosh, they're coming back, and I think he has to say goodbye to Elliot and just not make it, and his people still land and like collect his body or something. and then
it's like they shoot him up into the sky.
But there's like a maybe like there's a nod of respect between the other aliens and Elliot. Like they can tell that but they can like tell that E.T. bonded with him, you know, or something along those lines, and they
like share his like feelings for Elliot, not necessarily his memories, but they give Elliot maybe a hug, and it's
that might be too far. But I'm saying that would be the only case where it would still work, and the movie would probably not be terrible if
that would be good.
But if he just died in government hands and the movie just changes tone,
that'd be tough.
Like why the government sucks, you know, and it's just all that.
That's a good prompt here too, because that or segue into this question, because the Keyes character is like ominous the whole time, right? We don't see his face. We don't see any of the adults' faces besides the mom up until a certain point in the movie, and I think we're meant to believe he's the antagonist, like he's the evil government agent who's going to take E.T. away, and he probably would take E.T. away. But I mean, the twist is that his heart is in the right place, and that he's actually kind of like Elliot, you know, in the sense that like, oh, like I've wanted this too. I wanted the, you know, kind of what I was saying earlier, like he wants to feel chosen, he wants to feel special, and he wanted to see something magical. It's kind of like Ray in that way, but a little bit more wholesome here, I think. But the twist that he's a nice fella and the government just wants to help. Do you guys think this is just optimism, like this is how things should be like all the time, or is it like or selling false naivety to children? Like, how do you feel about the twist?
It's not really a twist, because Spielberg's last Alien movie, the government really wasn't like the bad guy,
right? But it's a twist here because they are portrayed. I mean, the reason we never see his face,
the shroud of darkness.
I think it paints the government in the correct way, where I think the majority of the people that get a job in the government are mostly doing it for the right reasons. You know, they want to protect, they want to be those people that get the call at midnight. You know, they want to be in that position to protect people, you know, and I think that is portrayed well once the government reveals itself. But I also think it paints the government in the right way in terms of how they go about it is a very sketchy and very in the shadows kind of way that doesn't make them seem very trustable. So I think it shows both sides, whether that's like how they're perceived and like the humanity behind who they are or who they can be, like the individuals. But it shows like, I think it shows both the whole, like the forest and the trees very like in a good way. It does a good mixture of both. And you know what? He would have good intentions, and maybe if it were up to him, E.T. would go to a good facility where they would treat him well, and it would be all this good stuff, and like, and maybe they would even learn from him, and he could be almost a respected scientist amongst them. But you know, you get people that, I mean, I think at the Close Encounters final scene, there were still military people there with guns. And so I still think you'd have to deal with that side that wants to like contain and control. And I don't think one person or even 10 individuals that all want the best can get past that secretiveness, that shadiness, that like in the shadows operating aspect that the government is portrayed at in this. That's what I think, at least. And so I don't think he's trying to portray. Yes, he is trying to portray them as the antagonist. But I think like this is also just an adventure movie, and at the end of the day, there really isn't an antagonist besides like
you need a villain.
Yeah, I think it's like, ooh, what's going on here? But I don't really think they're the antagonist because they didn't really kill E.T. either. They just are more of an obstacle, really.
Yeah. You know, I don't think this movie has a true villain, and I think it's fine. I think that works well. I think that would crowd it up because the villain is the fact of E.T. maybe dying and not getting home, whatever it is. That's Elliot being sick. Oh, there's enough stuff going wrong. You don't need like a sinister. I think they work as a kind of a red herring for the first half. For the half of the movie, I think it's good that we kind of have like the ominous, you know, we're tracking them and listening to phone calls or whatever. Like,
say that.
That all works, and
that's what the evil guy would say.
It's very Stranger Things. A lot of you can see you can see the DNA in the Stranger Things pretty good here too. Yeah, apparently, the original ending of this was them playing D&D again. Apparently, that's how this movie was going to end, with Elliot being included in D&D, and that was going to be the last scene of this movie, which is like, okay, Duffer Brothers, just like, but come on, guys.
It also leads back to a critique Corey had with
I didn't critique this movie. Oh, yes.
with Close Encounters that I think is also shown here. It's like this was how it, like the government was portrayed. It was like small sections that like came in to these neighborhoods, but they didn't like take over these big towns. And then Stranger Things, the way it's like we're bringing the nostalgia back, and in nostalgia the governments took over the whole town, when clearly that really wasn't the case.
Can I say why it works more for me in this one?
Yeah, absolutely.
I do agree with you, and I see exactly what you're saying, but I think it works for me in this one particularly because they are operating in the shadows, and so you just see like a car door or a car or a guy in a black suit or in a hat. Like you see, like they're very much like you don't know what's going on with them, you know? And so it could be, honestly, it could be just those guys from the very beginning of the movie that were all chasing E.T. through the forest. It could be any number of things, or it could be like a huge government operation. And so I think it works for me there or here more because it is a mystery. And in Close Encounters, that's one of the main storylines. It's one of the three main storylines, the government and what they're doing. And so seeing all the inner workings of that is why I was like, I feel like this should be bigger. Like that storyline should be bigger. And I still think I stand by that. I think looking back, I was probably a little too hard on that aspect than I should have been. But in this one, your imagination can kind of take control over what you think is behind that tinted windshield or in the shadow behind that street lamp, you know? So I think you can kind of, it's a little bit more up to interpretation. So that's why I think it works. And when they do show, they show immediately, and it's covering their house in plastic with all these guys just everywhere, and they're very, very prepared. So it does present itself as this huge, quick acting government agency. And so I think, and that has like the local police like doing its bidding as soon as they need it to, you know?
It's on the payroll.
Yeah. So I do see what you're saying, and I just think it works a little bit better in this one.
No, and that's also very fair because it's also not this.
What? I'm gonna try that again.
Fair.
There you go.
Fair. What was that? That was weird. No, I think that's fair just because it's also a more intimate setting here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like what we're doing in Close.
It's more personal.
That.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We're led to believe this is a worldwide thing that's going
Yes.
on. Here, it's very intimate.
Yes.
You know, it's a neighborhood in California.
Yes. And so I think having 20, 30 guys, like I think that was probably less than what they had at the Close Encounters ending. But because it's just 20 or 30 guys in one neighborhood, I feel like that makes a little bit more sense than just having like, I don't know, 50 total at this big complex that they've built in, was it Nevada? No, Wyoming.
Utah?
No.
Wichita.
Doesn't matter. But I want to talk about the siblings. I want to talk about the relationship between the siblings because I think the family dynamic of this movie was something that really stuck with me, and it's like something that when looking back on this movie now, I'm like, I can't wait to watch it next time because of these relationships. And they were all very real in terms of how they fought, but also how they came together and how they worked together when they realized that there was something going on, you know? It wasn't like Elliot showing Mike, here's a big thing that I have going on, and then Mike be like taking a weird turn and be like, Mom, you gotta see what Elliot did, you know, and like tattletaling on him because it's like, I feel like a lesser movie with a worse writer would have done something like that.
It's
like,
the code of honor among siblings that kind of bleeds through in like your normal conversation that you would have with your own sibling.
Yes, because I think there was some like I can remember back when there was like something that I was like, Drew, my brother, that's my brother's name, we should do this. And he was like, yes, we should do that. And it was like digging a big ditch in the backyard or something. And we just dug for hours.
just man stuff in the backyard, man.
But it was like, it just, but it was like goofy things like that, and and I'm not saying that this is goofy, but it's like you felt very similar to how a real sibling relationship is, and so
Totally.
I really appreciated that aspect of it. But what did you guys think of like the family dynamic, the sibling dynamic, and how all that interacted?
I love the younger siblings versus Mike, who feels that he is like kind of aged out of truly hanging out with his siblings. It's that feeling you get when you're a teenager and your friends are your whole world. Like that's really your life. And he's dragged back into it, but he also doesn't fight it. He realizes like, yeah, my dad's gone. I need to be here for my little brother. And I think that is why that character sticks out so much to me, because you could have him complaining about what he doesn't get to do, but he doesn't. That dialogue is never said, and hopefully it was never even written, because the character just, yeah, it would have been a shame if it was written.
It would be a shame if those words hit page.
But that being said, like, I think it speaks a lot to the character of Mike and the portrayal that I'm like, I just know if Elliot needs this guy, like, he's gonna be there.
Yeah, I agree.
Who's mowing their lawn?
Me.
I think you guys kind of nailed it. I'm glad. I think Elliot being the middle child is a big part of also why this movie works and why he kind of really, he needs to like feel chosen by E.T. there, because it would be so easy for this movie to be like it's the youngest kid finds E.T., but the fact that it's
starting fires,
but the fact that it's the middle child, I think is, and it's like right in between. We have the older sibling and the younger sibling. I don't know. I'm glad that we don't have like a big fight where like they have disagreements about stuff, but we don't have like a big fight where like third act big fight where they separate and then they have to come together at the end. It's like no, they're working as a team. It's really believable, and even Gertie, who might because she's like 6, might like slip up and not almost blow the secret or whatever, and not be as careful. Like she's still on their team. She's still on their team because like any younger sibling wants to do stuff with their older siblings pretty much, and like, feel like they're part of the team and feel like they have a role and feel important and all that. So yeah, I think it's a great dynamic, and it is part of why this movie is so rewatchable. And honestly, I'll be honest, I haven't rewatched this movie a ton. This is probably only the second time I've watched this movie all the way through. And I think I saw this for the first time. This was like Princess Bride for me, where it was like a movie that's probably best saw for the first time as a child. You grow up with it, but then I see it way later than everybody else. Like pretty much, I was already in college. I think almost done with like Mizzou by the time I saw E.T. for the first time. And I remember thinking like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I can see why this is so good. And I think I liked it even more this time. But I can tell this is a movie that rewatches are going to come a lot more for me going forward in the future. Kind of like with the other Spielberg classics that we already talked about on this podcast. Honestly. I do want to say, in terms of Spielberg overall, I think the bike over the moon, or the bike crossing the huge moon, which, side note, love huge moons. Talked about that with Evil Dead. This is a different tone here, but still love the look of a huge moon. Comically huge moon for that shot. I mean, I might be just saying it because it's the Amblin logo, which is Spielberg's company, but it's the logo for a reason. Is this like the most iconic frame in a Spielberg movie? I mean, I'm thinking of other ones. I mean, I'm sure some people would say the girl in the red dress in Schindler's List, the Jaw, big jump scare in Jaws where Roy Scheider's dumping the chum in there and it comes out and jumps at him.
Chum some of this.
Yeah, that. Is there a shot?
The T-Rex at the end of.
Yes, it's exactly what I was about to say. When dinosaurs ruled the earth, and when that sign is fluttering down.
In
BFG.
Ready Player One, that last battle.
It's probably something in BFG, if we're being honest, but I haven't seen it. So, but yeah, I don't know.
No, you're right. I think it is.
It probably is this, though, is my argument. Like, I mean,
Indiana Jones running away from the Boulder Raiders.
That's a big one too.
That's a big one, but I don't think I don't think that's more iconic than this shot. Like when people talk about movie, like if you see a montage of movies in general, and it goes on for at least 2 minutes, you're probably going to see the bike crossing the moon. You're probably going to see that.
Because it's more than just like a story behind it because it's just a beautiful shot.
It is. Well, this movie's just beautiful in general.
The other one, the other ones are iconic in terms of those are very memorable moments.
Yes.
This is one that transcends the movie in general. I think everyone that shot, that image. Everyone's seen that image. And maybe it is because of Spielberg's company and everyone's probably seen a Spielberg movie at this point, or most people have, but that one's just, the beauty of it is something that it's not just movies, it's like an art piece.
Totally. Yeah, totally. I feel like last thing I was gonna say, last thing I had here, which is something that I feel like has to be addressed, is John. It has to is the John Williams score here. So John Williams does all these Spielberg movies. Where does this score rank in your John Williams pantheon? And you can go beyond Spielberg movies if you want. You can include Superman, Star Wars, and does it touch the greats? And I honestly, I'll go first here because I think the main theme of E.T. is not as distinctly memorable. This has usually been an afterthought for me in terms of Williams scores because he has so many great ones. But Jaws, Jurassic Park, the Raiders March, and Superman, those are all in the main Harry Potter theme. I feel like I think of those more than I think of the main theme from E.T. But in terms of a score that I am noticing firing on all cylinders the entire movie, fitting whatever the moment is, because this score has menace and it has the awe and wonder and stuff, and it handles the quiet moments and it gets loud when it needs to. That final goodbye at the end, how triumphant that feels. There's drums banging at the end, at the finale of that movie. I mean, it is just nailing it the whole movie. So in terms of an all-encompassing score, not just the main theme, quote unquote, I think this might be second to only Star Wars for me, for John Williams. From beginning to end.
Can I go really quick? You might not like this. I didn't dislike it where I was like, this doesn't match, this doesn't fit, this doesn't feel like it flows with the movie. I felt like the story took me along the ride, that I just didn't think that the soundtrack really added enough to me, or enough to the movie where it was that just made it even better. And maybe I would have a different opinion if I watched it without the soundtrack, I just feel like the story is so strong. I feel so attached to the characters that I didn't focus on the music as much and the soundtrack going on. So I think that's good and bad in terms of it didn't distract me where it was let me pay attention to this because I was drawn into the story. So I'm not going to say it's bad because I never got that out of it, but I don't think it gets near any of those great moments because I think the best part about the soundtrack sometimes is it can define the moment. And I never felt like the music defined the moment in this movie. I felt like what was going on, the action, the plot, the story, the characters, emotional impact of what's going on around them really defined everything,
And I will agree with Corey in that this score works for me as an amplifier to, the surroundings of the movie.
Well, that's what it should be. That's what a score should be.
But if I'm pulling it out of the movie and I'm listening to it on its own, do I get those chills that I got? The Jurassic Park theme.
Great example.
I can feel the piano playing. And I think, your brother said it best. He goes, it's sort of a romantic score. Zach's brother, the one that we've had on the podcast.
When do you think Drew Keithley was calling the Jurassic Park score romantic?
He said it just the other day to me. He He cried and he said it.
I can't even picture him saying. I can't even get.
But I say that in. Yes, you're right. Yeah, a score should be an amplifier, and that's what this does. But if I'm listening to it on its own, probably the moon scene is good.
Dude, I can hear it. I can hear it in my head. Yeah,
and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful score, but it doesn't have the iconography for me where I'm Oh my god, this sends chills down my spine.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying with, like, that's what I'm saying, like, I agree with you in that sense, because what I think you're saying is kind of what I prefaced this with, is that I think the main theme of these other movies is those are more iconic to me, and I would be much more likely to put those on in the car. In terms of a front to back, like, full score, while I'm, like every track on it type of thing, and, like, while I'm watching the movie, like, God, the whole time I mean, I respect what you're saying, Corey, but, like, I do feel like it does enhance certain moments.
It doesn't. No.
While I'm watching it, I was just thinking, in terms of serving the film, serving the movie, this stood out to me as, like, wow. I mean, this, like, every moment, anytime I'm hearing the music, I am noticing it. Not in the, like, oh, this is distracting me from what's happening. It's enhancing what's happening. And I'm like, wow, this is really effective. And I think it's like, yes, the story is carrying it, but I think they're perfectly married here. And I think, like, they make each other better. You know, like, the score is better if I listen to it separately because I can picture the moment. And then the moment I think is better because I'm hearing the score when I'm watching it, which I think is what a score should be. But yeah, the main themes for the other movies are more iconic, obviously, like the Jaws theme in Jurassic Park and Raiders March, etc.
Right. You know what? And maybe there's something to it. Maybe it's usually I've been trying to watch the movies twice, you know, once just to make sure I understand what's going on in the movie, and the other time to, like, kind of.
I could just not follow E.T.
Things, you know?
I could just not. This movie, it's like I picture you watching E.T. like, I just cannot figure this movie out. What is happening?
Let me diagram.
Where is this little guy going?
I watch it once, and then I watch it a second time where I'm, like, picking, like, I look for other things or, like, pay attention to different things than I did the first time, or just, like, other
I respect you
parts
for that.
to talk about. This one, I only watched it once, in all fairness. So maybe I would have noticed that if I would have watched it a second time, and maybe on the next watch that I have, because going back to your previous point, this is one that is going to be on the whenever it's streaming again, because I'm not going to rent it once a month or anything like that. But whenever it's streaming again, I'll be like, oh my gosh, it's on HBO Max. Absolutely, play. Like, let me watch that.
Fire it
now.
up.
Yeah.
Play.
Do we have anything else that we wanted to touch on?
This is just a personal thing. I actually, my current girlfriend Madeline and I had our first kiss, I think, while seeing E.T. at the drive-in, and I thought it'll always hold us. Yeah, we finally kissed a year in.
Just
yeah.
What have you been doing before this?
Holding hands.
Holding hands.
Yep.
He's a man of God. Okay.
Yep. I don't know. Yeah, just really. Yeah, remember. So I'll always associate that and be like, oh, fond memory. Yeah, it's cute. Yeah, we can move right along. Thank you.
No, that was good. On to the award season.
Apparently they strayed off course, and we're fairly certain they're in guerrilla hands.
So why don't you use the regular army? What do you need us for?
Because some damn fool accused you of being the best.
Cole, it looks like you're going first. Cole, let's see. In the last one, you picked Richard D., so that's not an option in this one. Zach, you picked Steven Spielberg in the last one, so you can't pick him in this one.
So you're screwed, buddy.
No, there's a lot of options.
Yeah.
I am going to go Carlo Rambaldi, the designer of E.T. Was that your? Yeah.
That's a really good one.
I love the way E.T. looks. He's a little freaky looking. He's got the long fingers, but he's also, I think that is like he's like a little animal that like a kid brings home. And I mean, Elliot does it in the movie, but that being said, you can create something that's out of this world, but also wholesome. And Carlo Rambaldi does that really well.
Well said. I agree. And also, go ahead.
I was going to say one more point because I had him. It is such a credit to someone that can make something that looks so odd and so extraterrestrial in general. Like, hit that nail on the head, but also we can see enough, like, human in it, like being able to have those connections with something that can extend its neck all the, like, to a crazy amount, something that can do all these odd things and that has the, like, a very different outward appearance but still can somehow be perceived with humanity. I think there's something beyond just, like, the story that you can write around that. There has to be something innately in the look of the character to be able to accomplish both. So I think that's a huge credit to him. That was a great pick, Cole.
And then just on that one point, just love the design of E.T. Probably one of the best creature designs ever in film history. And
so I'm hearing that I took everyone's.
No, he wasn't on my. I had a list of two in case one of my two guys got taken, but I did realize I forgot to say this earlier. The sounds that E.T. makes, the vocal performance, but like the little like purring that he does. That's a great touch. Like that. So yeah, really well done. The two guys I have here, we already talked about John Williams enough just then, so I kind of want to take this moment to highlight another guy, Allen Daviau. I don't know, the cinematographer. I think this movie looks incredible. I know I talked about the Close Encounters, where I was like, oh, this might be like top 3 best-looking Spielberg movies, and it still might be. I think this has to be in that top 3 as well, and I'll let you know when I land on what the other one is. I know I said Jurassic Park looks great in the low-light settings. I think this movie looks even better, and like ton of silhouettes in this movie, but like they're not overly stylized, but they're still beautiful. Just so many scenes in like a natural dark setting just look so good in this movie, and like it really captures like a contemporary normal family setting while still making the normal grounded stuff we can all relate to look just incredible. Like, and then like I remember just being like, when I did watch this for the first time, I remember being the shot that took me aback the most with like, and it's early in the movie to let me know, like, wow, okay, I was aware this is one of the most famous Spielberg movies, and I thought it's just like, oh, it's a fun kids movie, and I'll enjoy watching it. But like when I was watching it, like, wow, this is probably actually going to be something outstanding, is that when Elliot goes out to the shed, and just that shot in the backyard with the lights in the shed and all the stars and like the cornfield and whatever, it's just the lighting setup, and that looks so good. It's just mesmerizing. It really is.
Great shot, Zach. Great shot.
And then, like we already talked about, like
great shot, Allen.
All the opening stuff with E.T. being left behind and the silhouettes of all the government guys there and all the other little aliens with the wide shot of E.T. wandering in the woods, and inside the ship looks really cool. Like they're collecting different plants from different planets. Like that's awesome. And like there's like a rack focus of the town, like from the mountain at some point in the middle of the movie that I was like, ooh, that's really effective. Like there's just a ton of just moments in this movie that look incredible. So the cinematographer Allen Daviau, I don't know, sorry, well, respect to him. So
absolutely great pick.
Sorry we couldn't say your name.
Willem Dafoe.
I'm gonna go with Steven Spielberg. I'm gonna wrap it up with my Steven Spielberg pick of the Steven Spielberg summer.
Yes, I get him for War of the Worlds.
Congratulations.
I know who I'm taking for that one.
Like I said, during the John Williams conversation, I think it came out the boast of how much I appreciated the story and how much I appreciated just like the writing in general and the characters that he was able to develop. But that is no small feat. I think that took this movie to an insane level, and everything that you said about it, the cinematography, like the view of it, and the effect that had on you, and the effect that it had on me, like. That did not stop with the cinematography. It's kept going with how the characters resonated with me, how the characters talked to one another, with just how the story flowed in general. I thought it was this movie is firing on all cylinders. So Steven Spielberg is easily my MVP of E.T. On to the review section.
Says that they insist on outside opinions.
What kind of opinions?
Well, your kind, not to put too fine a point on it. I mean, let's face it, in your particular field, you're the top minds.
Takes a great director to follow up a great alien film with an even greater alien film. No notes, Steven. 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Play it. Dear
God, that's beautiful.
5 stars, Angel. 5 stars.
That was the best acting I've ever seen in my whole life.
How's that for a slice of front
All right.
Yeah, boy.
God damn, Jimmy.
That was bloody brilliant.
This is some serious gourmet shit.
That was totally wicked.
This is incredible. You like it? Oh, that's such a relief.
Play it. Zach, you're
Did
up.
you give Raiders 5?
I think I gave it like a 4.2.
You need to start keeping track of this stuff.
Corey gave it like a 3.
Oh, man. Oh, God. No, I'm mad. I forgot about that whole snafu. That was awful. That was a dark day.
Do it again.
John Bernthal, the Punisher, like Daredevil season 2, like, I liked it. Yeah, I loved it. Love lowball and Raiders of the Lost Ark final star rating. All right.
I am the Punisher.
Man, I was flip-flopping on my final rating here. It's tough. It's tough. I gave 5 stars to Jurassic Park, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Jaws, and I don't think I can quite put this on that 5-star level for me with the rest of those other 3. E.T. be good? No. E.T. be great. 4.75 out of 5.
0.75. Zach broke his rule. I love it when Zach
I
breaks
did.
his rule.
I have to.
I
Yeah.
love it.
What it does
No,
is
it's not.
0.75 gives me the freedom on Letterboxd to do 4.5 or
Go
5
either
depending on however I'm feeling.
Yeah.
It's
Zach likes to feel free. He likes to feel
freaky now.
I don't like to be tied down.
Here's my review. It's not often that immediately after watching a movie that I change my top 4 on Letterboxd. 5 out of 5.
That's beautiful.
5 stars, Angel. 5 stars.
That was the best acting I've ever seen in my whole life.
that for a slice of front gold?
All right.
Yeah, boy.
God damn, Jimmy.
That was bloody brilliant.
This some serious gourmet shit.
That was totally wicked.
This is incredible. You like it? Oh my God. That's such a relief.
My God.
Zach, you are the lowest.
Play the sounder.
That is wild.
I know. I am the hater, giving it a 4.75 out of 5.
This movie bangs.
We are, yeah. God, well, this movie is really good.
You know, I did want to say before we end off, when I told my dad we were covering this, and Zach knows my dad pretty well, having grown up basically.
Grew up with him.
My father immediately goes, "What does he call his brother at the kitchen table? Penis breath," without even with like no hesitation. Nieces at the end of the table. My dad immediately clung to that line.
Your dad's he's the reputation of being like generally like a serious guy, but when he gets funny, he's really funny. I can easily picture this interaction that you're describing. Yeah, that's on brand. That's great.
He used to call us in for dinner. Oh, merry man.
Yeah, it's my boy.
On to the post-credit scene.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.
So next up, here again, just a reminder, we're going back and forth between Steven Spielberg Alien movies and Toy Story. So the next movie that Cole and Zach will be talking about is Toy Story 3. I will not be on that episode.
Koi got a little sad.
I will not be watching it. Toy Story 3 is streaming on Disney Plus. I know because I just watched it today. And then after that, we're going to go back to Steven Spielberg with Of the Worlds. Cole, you said you were going to look up exactly where that's streaming, and if it's not, you were going to pay for everyone in the audience to rent it? Is that right?
That is a lie. That is a lie. It is streaming on Paramount Plus and Pluto TV, and with certain subscriptions on Hulu.
You got lucky. You almost had to rent it for every single one of our listeners. But thankfully, it is streaming on Paramount Plus. So go watch that after you watch Toy Story 3. So we're going to continue that train of going back and forth. But yeah, until Toy Story 3, though, or since Toy Story 2, what have you guys been watching?
I saw Hokum yesterday. The new Adam Scott horror film.
Adam Scott one?
Yeah, from the same director as Oddity, which I thought was another pretty solid ghost movie that came out maybe 2024. I'm not actually positive. It might have been 25. I don't know. Time is a blur to me. It was really solid. Just a really fun ghost movie. There might have been a bit too much going on, I think, plotting-wise. Even for a film that takes place largely at one location, I still think there's kind of a lot going on plotting-wise, or a few too many threads. But each individual thread on its own, I really liked. So overall, I still enjoyed the movie. So yeah, definitely full recommend to go see Hokum out there if you hear this in time. Probably actually the fact that we're recording this, like, you probably will be out of theaters by the time this comes out. So rent it when it becomes available. It's really solid.
It. The important thing is you spent money.
Yes.
Cole?
This morning, I rewatched Minority Report for like the first time in probably a couple of years, like all the way through. God, that is a great movie.
Great movie.
Love me some Tommy Tom. I love me some Steven Spielberg.
You know what's crazy is that movie is great, and I don't even know if it is in my top like 12 Steven Spielberg movies. It's just this guy's the best.
Kind of makes it feel like it might not be great, but then I'm like,
he's got a lot of really good. I mean, dude, Catch Me If You Can is probably like my number 9.
Great movie.
And that's like probably my number 9, like Spielberg
I'm
movie.
Watching
better than
Minority
Minority
Report, and there's that great scene where Agatha's like predicting their child's Sean's future.
I have an idea.
And then she ends it with, "I'm sorry, John, but you're gonna need to run it."
Yeah, I remember that.
It's so good.
Anytime a character tells the Tom Cruise character to start running, you better sit up. You better sit up.
Tom gets told to run.
Oh, we're about to watch a Tom Cruise movie for the podcast again. Oh, so excited! Oh, I'm so excited.
We had to take a break, Zach,
Can
because
you-
Zach got a little turned up.
Can you guys guess the top 5 Steven Spielberg directed movies on Letterboxd?
Like in terms of
Top
most
5
watched?
rated. Top 5 rated.
Top five rated.
So this,
I
whatever
love
it is,
this
has
game.
the highest, and then it goes.
Let's go
down a bit.
Fablemans.
No, what? Are you high?
One rated. Number
Are you
one rated
high?
Out of 5, most people gave this the highest score out of 5. What movie is it?
Stop blinking.
Okay, out of
I'm not
top,
gonna give you a
in
hint.
terms of rated score out of 5, I'm gonna say the highest rated is Schindler's List.
That is correct, Zach. What is number 2? Did you see this list?
No, but Schindler's List.
You saw the list.
Schindler's List rips. No, I have not seen the list.
He saw the list.
What is number 2 on this list? I feel like we need that music.
Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan. That's right. So you did see the list.
No,
That's
I
great.
don't. No, I have not. I swear, I haven't. Not.
He cheated.
Number 3. Number 3. Cole. What is the third?
Well, let me see if I can go. Let me see if I can go 5 for 5 with no
Okay, Zach,
misses.
go ahead. Let's see if you go 3 for 3.
Cole started with Fablemans. That means that we're playing keeps. That means I go until I miss.
Cole? Okay, that's fair. And then Cole can go.
With a chance to steal, Cole. I'm gonna go.
Steven Spielberg directed film on Letterboxd.
Oh man, Jaws.
That is not correct.
That's not in the
Cole,
top 5?
Steal here.
I'm gonna go.
That is not
Jurassic
number 3.
Park.
You're trying to go
Oh,
for
right.
for
Okay,
3 is
okay,
not
okay.
number 3.
Jurassic Park.
Cole, that's not correct either. Zach, back to you.
I'm gonna go
for the
Catch Me If
number
You
3
Can.
Movie. That is also not correct, Cole. It's back for a chance to steal the points again. Number 3 rated movie on Letterboxd, directed by Steven Spielberg.
Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Give me
You
a
were
sec.
looking up movies. Zach, it's back to you.
No, I'm just.
No,
E.T.
don't try to pull a fast one on us on this game. That is not correct. I'm going to give it to you guys because you guys suck at this game. I'll give you. How about this? I'll give you the initials. R-O-F-T-L.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Raiders of the Lost. Raiders.
That is correct. So Zach, you did see this list. That's good. That's good. Number 4 was Jurassic Park. So Cole, you were very close. And number 5, can you guys guess number 5?
Catch Me If You Can.
No, that's number 6.
Minority Report.
No, Minority Report is number 15.
Last Crusade. Last Crusade.
That is correct. Zach, you did read this. That's pretty awesome. But that's the top 5. Schindler's
So
List.
wait,
Saving
E.T. Wait,
Private
so
Ryan,
E.T. was not in the top 5?
It was not in the top 5. E.T. is number 11, it looks like. Yes. And then Close Encounters is number 12.
Insane.
What a
the
director.
Top 10. I'll read you the top 10. Schindler's List, like we talked about. Saving Private Ryan. Raiders. Jurassic Park. Last Crusade. Catch Me If You Can is number 6. Fable.
Damn good film. That was really good.
The Color Purple.
Can I see that one?
Jaws at number 9. And Empire of the Sun at number 10. I haven't seen that film.
Christian Bale, the young Christian Bale.
Yeah, that middle of the 80s is kind of like post Temple of Doom. I did not see. It's a blind spot for me. I didn't see Color Purple or Empire of the Sun. And then I haven't seen Hook either, which I guess is after Last Crusade. But yeah,
War of the Worlds is low.
yeah, people and myself included, and we'll talk about it. I guess I won't spoil it, but yeah, I think that last third does shake people off of War of the Worlds a little bit.
That's fair. I think Hook should be higher, but
when you see the list with like endings that piss people off,
Yeah.
War of the Worlds is kind of.
We'll talk about it. I'm surprised Lincoln. Lincoln was kind of a sleeper pick that could have been higher. Yeah, I thought Lincoln might have had a higher. I wouldn't expect a lot of people to have logged Lincoln on Letterboxd, but I would assume the people who went out of their way to watch it would have really liked it. That's what I would be my thinking with Lincoln. But
Lincoln is kind of low. So that's 15, 20. It's 22.
Holy hell!
Lincoln is 22. Let's see what its average rating is on Letterboxd. It's a 3.6. It's not giving me the detail. 3.59 is the weighted average.
I thought that's what we were going off of this whole time. I thought we were guessing the average rating. Okay, yeah, okay.
It was 3.59 for Lincoln.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah. No, that was right. You were guessing the right thing. Okay, so coming up, we're gonna miss it. We kind of overshot it with some other, but as of this recording, tomorrow is May the 4th, and we're all big Star Wars guys. We all know that this podcast ends when we cover the original trilogy, so look for that. But what's your go-to Star Wars movie that you will be watching tomorrow?
That's my question.
Go to watch?
Well, then you can answer it.
Maybe I will watch one tomorrow. I feel like I kind of hit my quota by seeing the new one in theaters, or not the new one, the original one in theaters this weekend. But I could probably watch one tomorrow. I might as well just keep it going and watch Empire, honestly. But honestly, actually, more likely, what I'm gonna do.
Watch Empire today and finish it tomorrow.
What I'm probably most likely gonna do is start Maul. Probably gonna start Maul. Is what I'll do.
That's not a bad idea. I think I'm still gonna watch a movie, but probably start Maul. It's not a bad idea.
I do need to start Maul.
I've heard great things about it.
I think my go-to on like May the 4th, if I'm picking out like a Star Wars movie, I always go Return of the Jedi.
Such an easy one to put on. It really is.
I was gonna watch
It's
New Hope.
Fun. I would say out of the original three, it is the funnest.
I think you might have something there, Cole, that I can't disagree with. I also think I look back on it fondly, but I was going to watch A New Hope because I don't think I've seen it in quite some time. I don't think I've seen many Star Wars movies since Rise of Skywalker.
When we watched it?
Yeah.
Well, let me pose this question now, guys. How would we feel about doing, after Toy Story 3, a mini-sode on Mando and Grogu? Because that's when it would time out. Like, just a mini-sode. Like, maybe we record it in the same sitting as War of the Worlds, either before or after. But, like, just a quick no-call sheet, just an, award season and then review section really quick for Mando and Grogu.
Where's the release schedule?
Like how we did with...
It comes out Memorial Day weekend, and all three of us are busy that weekend. But we leave on a Saturday. I planned on seeing it that Thursday or Friday, because I would like to discuss it with you guys over that weekend. Yeah, I was going to see it that Thursday night or Friday night before leaving that Saturday morning for where we are all going that weekend.
I did take that Friday off.
You can easily catch Mando. And that's interesting to take that Friday off and not the Tuesday after. I feel like that'd be a better day.
I also took that Tuesday off.
Look at you go.
I could see it on Friday.
I plan ahead.
I would genuinely, if we all agreed to see it that Thursday, I would record something that Friday, and I could edit it, at some point over the weekend, like on the flight or something, or at the airport.
If we
all agree to see it opening Thursday night, and then record on that Friday evening,
before we leave?
We leave on Saturday.
Dude, I got an early flight.
The day before we leave?
Yeah. Cole, I have the earliest flight. I have a 5 a.m. flight, Cole. I'm saying, like...
That was a personal choice.
Well, no, I'm just saying you could hit a 6 Central Time recording, Cole, no matter how early your flight is. I don't want to hear any... If the answer is no, it's not no with excuses. Yeah.
Maybe I'll take that Friday off, too. No, I can't.
Yeah, Corey, take that Friday off.
I think I am going to take that Tuesday off, but yeah.
I can't do that either.
Just an idea. I think just, we'll get it done. I think I was just saying, like, if we see it beforehand and then at the very least see it before we go and then either record right when we get back, or I'd prefer, honestly, to just record it that Friday and then I have that whole weekend to edit at some point, and then I would pump it out on that Tuesday.
When we get closer, I can let you know for sure.
Yeah. But
closer. Okay. Well, that's getting cut. But sounds good. Let us know what you're watching on May the 4th. And until then, just keep watching movies. Thanks for listening.